All right, guys, today I'm going to talk about the most overly used technique in all of music production, and it's called sidechaining. There's a perfect time to use it, there's a perfect time not to use it. So usually I found myself never needing to sidechain. So let me show you guys an example. Here's a track we made in our Logic Pro 11 course at busyworksbeats.com. So this is before sidechaining. All right, now we're going to start turning on the mixing here. All right, so as you guys can hear, the 808 is supposed to be this full-bodied, dense sound. Now, what people do is they'll sidechain. So to do it in Logic Pro, you add your 808, add a compressor on the actual audio effects, and in the top right, you have what's called sidechain mode. Switch it to here, and then switch the sidechain input to your instrument of choice, in this case, the kick. Or you could have a bus sidechain it, regardless. So now every time the kick hits, this will lower the volume. So let me solo these items so you guys can really hear the effect. Now, most people don't understand the point here. The point is that we're losing the density in the body of the 808. So here's before turning on the compressor. Here's after. So before, I want you guys to listen to the body and the density of the sound. Here's after. Okay, so we're losing a significant portion of that 808. And I think a lot of people think because their kick and 808 clash in the early stages of production, you're not supposed to have them clash. Sometimes having them clash is important for the actual effects you guys might add. So I'm just going to show you a couple ways to kind of blend these two. So I showed you guys why you should not always use sidechain, as you guys just heard. It sucks the life out of the bass. But in some genres, you may want that type of effect, like for EDM or more bouncy genres, you might sidechain the 808 as a technique, not as a technical way to fix your mix, but as a technique. And that's where a lot of beginners, again, they are wondering why their beats don't sound full or dense. It's because the sidechain is killing the bass. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a couple ways to glue your mix and your 808 together without adding sidechaining. So the first thing is this saturation. When you combine your kick and your 808, when you saturate stuff, it chops off the tops of the sound and you get harmonics. And so basically it doesn't matter if the kick and the 808 stack up to plus 6 dB at 60 hertz, because when you chop off the top of 60 hertz, the sine wave, it will become a whole different frequency. And you don't have to worry about stacking in the lows as much. So that's why we add saturation or harmonics to a sound. Now, I'll be aggressive with this so you guys can hear what I'm saying here. So this is a plugin called Distortion 2 from Logic Pro. In FL Studio, you have Fruity Blood Overdrive, you have Fast Distort, you have, what else is a saturator? The Fruity Limiter has a tape saturation inside. So I'm going to basically saturate the track so that those rounded low end areas that are clashing will become less stacked over each other, because we're adding harmonics here. So that one technique, if I turn this on and off without any other mixing. So let me solo these sounds so you guys can hear. So let's start with the 808 and our kick. Now there is some stacking, there is some slight phase cancellation, but you can't tell. So here's with the distortion. And if I exaggerate, you can really tell. Because now our ear perceives that low end friction as a part of the distortion and less about, boosting at 60 hertz. So that's one aggressive way. I had to show you guys the more aggressive tone so that you could hear. But my favorite way to do it is to add a compressor in Logic and go to the soft distortion mode. Again, I'm making a new course. It's actually out right now. Just go to busyworksbeats.com, and it's for Logic Pro 11. And if you guys go to where it says distortion mode, soft, as you can hear in my voice, it's adding harmonics to my voice. So here's it off, and then here's with it on. It just adds more presence to the track by adding more higher frequencies. So again, let's A/B this. Okay, so the ear is perceiving, again, that friction between the kick and the 808 as a musical concept and less about a technique or a problem. So let's combine these two. All right, as we can see, they're starting to blend more. So here's before. Even though they weren't terribly stacked. Okay, so sometimes you guys just got to pick better kicks and better 808s. Not every kick goes with every 808. If you're just picking two sounds that are basically 60 hertz with different decay curvatures, of course they're going to stack and triple in volume and double in volume because they're basically the same sound duplicated. So you guys got to just do a better job when it comes to picking your kicks and your 808 matching. Now, is there a formula for it? No. The main point for your kick and 808 is if your kick is very subby, try to avoid an 808 because the kick is the 808 in that case, because an 808 can quickly turn into a kick depending on the decay curvature. So just that comes with time, but I just not hate when people say it. It's just, it's so overly used and it's causing you guys to overly mix your beats because you're sidechaining unnecessarily. So let's turn these effects back on and let's turn on sidechain just to see how much energy we lose from the sidechain. So here's before. Now let's turn on the sidechain. So you might have some people like, okay, but you don't sidechain it that low. You sidechain it less obvious. Okay, let's do that. But the point is, we don't need a sidechain at all for it to sound good. So reducing volume, unless you guys are trying to shape the sound of the 808, there's no point in doing this unless you, again, are using it as a creative sidechain technique to add more bounce. So let's turn the compressor back on, but just at lower amounts and see if it really blends easier. Now this does blend better, but again, the question becomes, why would we want to turn down the 808 if it's the density of the track? Okay, so I just want you guys to see it, you know, in context. All right, let's run this back. Now let's add our distortion unit next. All right, next up, let's add the sidechain. Now for this track, we can get away with side chaining because it's a bouncier track. So that is a stylistic approach to side chaining. It's more of an EDM approach to it, not a technical approach. I just want you guys to have the freedom to know you don't need to sidechain your 808s and your kicks. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com. We have over 78 courses on music production. Peace out, guys.